guys, I'm about to hit up hustle number 2. This is hustle 2.0 now. As you can see, I have a totally different demeanor about me than I did the first time around, and I think that's come out of the confidence from hustle number 1. Actually getting out there, I realized that it's not as scary as I thought it was. My anxiety was playing a really big role, and now I've sort of got a strategy to settle it a bit, and it's working. So like, if I can help you with that, so I was speaking to a really good friend of mine last night, and we were talking about anxiety and the fact that anxiety is almost like this little child within us. And we were talking about, okay, well, if you're at a shopping centre and you see a child that wants something, what do? And obviously they nag and they whinge and they scream and they carry on. And then what happens when the adult doesn't pay them attention? The child keeps going and is persistent and persistent and persistent. And they don't give up on it until they get what they want. And that's what I was dealing with my anxiety. It was being really persistent because I was trying to resist it. Another great friend of mine says, what you resist persists. And that is so true with anxiety. So the strategy that we came up with was, why don't we pay attention to that child? Because if you have noticed, any parent that does pay attention to their child and gives them the attention that they want when the child is needy, usually what happens is the child just tends to calm because it's getting what it wants. It's the same with animals. If you've got a dog or a cat, for example, our cat Mia, sometimes she does things just to get our attention. Like, she knows that it's like off the chart. She's not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to claw on the bed. She knows this. But to get our attention, if we're sitting there on our phones, as we often are in today's world, you know, she'll deliberately do stuff to get our attention. And if we hiss, or if we, you know, put our hand down, or if we say, stop that, she keeps going. And it's not until we put the phone away and we give her the love and affection and attention she needs that she stops. So the strategy for the anxiety sort of goes like this. You basically give it everything it wants. So you treat it as if it's a child, so that when your head is going and telling you, oh my God, people are going to slam the door in my face, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and you're overthinking and overprocessing, and that's the child screaming, yeah? Acknowledge it. And we spoke about calling it mini-me. So it goes a little bit like this. Oh, now I can't remember. It's, you know, hello, mini-me. I acknowledge that you're there, and I acknowledge that, you know, I'm hearing you. I understand that you're only trying to protect me, but I choose to believe that I am confident instead. Or I choose to believe that this is healthy for me instead. Or I choose to believe that I'm really courageous instead. So you're basically acknowledging that it's there, but you're feeding it with positivity. You're feeding it with the antidote. So, yeah, and that, honestly, that has worked for me today. So I'm about to head out for hustle number 2. I've got a totally different strategy, and like, you know, someone may shut their door in my face, but I don't know, I just feel like I'm in a totally different headspace where I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If they do that, that's cool. They're just not obviously meant to be the type of client I work with anyway, so it's probably a really good thing. So I will let you know how hustle 2 goes when I return home. Have an awesome day, guys. Okay, so hustle number 2 went like this. It was good. I knocked on a few doors, obviously. Some people were home, some people weren't. Some people pretended they weren't home. That was interesting. Like, this kid answered the door at one of them, and she's like, hello. And I was like, hello. And I learned her name, and I learned about her dog, and I learned about all the apps she's using, which is kind of cool anyway. And I was like, is anybody home? She's like, oh yeah, my dad's home. I'll just get him. And then she's like, oh, he's sleeping. So anyway, I was like, that's okay. I'd probably be sleeping too if I knew someone was knocking on my door. And then moved on to the next one. So I had some pretty good chats with some great residents here in our street. And some of them, like one couple I met, oh my gosh, they'd lived here for 40 years. And when they moved here, there were only like 2 other homes in the street built. So that was kind of cool. So I learned a little bit about history. I still learned a few things about people's dream homes. A lot of the people I spoke to are actually really happy with the home they're in, which is just so lovely and delightful to hear about, that people are really settled. So that was an interesting conversation in itself, because I learned, well, okay, well, what makes this the right home for you? What does it feel like to be in this home? And they were really great. So door knock number 2 went really well. And door knock number 3, I have a little bit more of the street to do, and then I plan to get out of our street and go beyond into the universe, into other streets. So I'm going to have to change my tactic a bit. I can't go, hey, my name's Steph and I'm at this house number in your street, and yeah, I'm local, so you should like me. Can't use that tactic. So I'm going to have to come up with a new strategy, but I'm sure I will. And I'm very glad that I am growing every day, and every single time I do this I seem to get far more confident and far more happier. And already between 1 and 2, I'm sure that you've noticed like a big difference in even my language. I'm not a potty mouth today because I don't need to be. I'm not freaking out. So yeah, thanks for joining the journey, and I hope you have the best weekend. It is Friday currently, right now, and it's what time is it? It's 4 o'clock on Friday, the 1st of July. So, yeah, enjoy your weekends, or whenever you're watching this, enjoy the one that's coming up for you. Love you lots for watching and just for being a part of my journey.